Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's recording where we will be reading the Bible. I feel like there's a lot of content that's put out right now that's very divisive and brings out the worst in people. And I wanted this to be a place that people could come to hear the Word of God being read, to be encouraged, to have something to listen to ease any anxiety that you might have, and just be a safe space for people. So today we'll start in the very beginning with the book of Genesis. And this is a Bible that I enjoy quite a bit. It's an archaeology Bible, as you can see, and it's got all sorts of interesting little insights and things that we'll uncover over time that has references to old architectural structures and things of interest to anybody who wants to dig a little bit more into what life and the world was like back during the time of the Bible. So we'll go ahead and dive in and start reading. Introduction to Genesis. Theme and authorship. The theme of Genesis is creation, sin, and recreation. God made the world very good, but then cursed it and later destroyed it in the flood because of man's disobedience. The new world after the flood was also spoiled by human sin. God chose Abraham for a special purpose. Through his family, all nations would be blessed. God's purpose would eventually be fulfilled through Abraham's descendants. The almost universal claim until recent times among both Jews and Christians was that Moses wrote Genesis and the rest of the Pentateuch. Moses lived much earlier than the events described in Genesis, but he would have used earlier sources passed down to him, such as genealogical lists. Other Old Testament writers attribute the Pentateuch to Moses. In the New Testament, Jesus unequivocally accepts Mosaic authorship of the Pentateuch. Jewish writings, like the Talmud, and every church teaching almost unanimously agrees with the Mosaic composition. Contributions from archaeology. Most of Genesis covers the period of the patriarchs. Most, if not all, of the events recounted belonging to the Middle Bronze Age, from 2200 to 1515 BC. Archaeological work has shed considerable light on the setting and background of this period throughout the entire ancient Near East, including how patriarchs fit into the history of the nations. Archaeology demonstrates that the narratives of the Hebrew fathers correspond perfectly to the Middle Bronze Age cultural setting, not to any other time period. The patriarchs originated in Mesopotamia in the early centuries of the second millennium BC. Several lines of evidence from that area paint a picture of the setting of that period. Documentary evidence in the form of tablets found through the excavation is primary. Thousands of texts found at El Ebla, Mari, and Nuzi in modern-day Syria and Iraq stand out for providing rich parallels and important background material for the study of the patriarchs. Other texts found at these sites describe the acts of creation and the episode of a great flood from a mythic pagan perspective, affecting the study of many early chapters of Genesis. In addition, major excavations such as those at Ur and Nineveh provide important remains that help reconstruct how people lived in that day. Many of the sites visited by the patriarchs in Canaan have been excavated and contain impressive remains from the Middle Bronze period. These include Bethel, Dan, Dothan, Gezer, Hebron, Megiddo, Shechem, and others. The finds reflect the lifestyle and culture of the indigenous populations of Canaan with whom the patriarchs continually interacted. Genesis ends with the words, "in Egypt." This is where the patriarch Joseph spent most of his life, and his family moved there as well. Archaeological work in Egypt sheds a significant light on the historical and material context of the Hebrews in the land. The Joseph narrative reflects what was occurring in Egypt during the early to mid-2nd millennium BC. history and the patriarchal history, with all the different subsets you can see there included. There's also a map here that shows a little bit more about the Near East at the time of Genesis. There are countries here that you would recognize today like Egypt, but then there are also populations of people like the Hittites in modern-day Turkey, going down into northern Africa. We'll go ahead and get started now reading with the book of Genesis itself, the creation of the world. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and he called the darkness night. And there was the evening and the morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And God made the expanse and separated the waters that were the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse. And it was so. And God called that expanse heaven. And there was evening and there was morning, the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under heaven be gathered together into one place, and let dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruits bearing fruit in which is their seed, according to its kind on the earth." And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their own kinds, and trees bearing fruit, in which is their seed, each according to its own kind. And God saw it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. And God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons, and for days and years, and let them be lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And God set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light to the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the fourth day. And God said, let the waters swarm with the swarms of living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens." So God created the great sea creatures, and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarm, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth." And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, livestock and creeping things and beasts of the earth according to their kinds." And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth according to their kinds, and the livestock according to their kinds, and everything that creeps on the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish in the sea, and every kind of bird of the heavens, and every living thing that moves on the earth." And God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird over the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that was so. And God saw everything he made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. All right. Well, that will bring this video to a close, but we'll pick up right where we left off in Genesis chapter 2. I believe that even if there is something that you don't understand in the Bible, that it's definitely some worth reading, because there are always things that can be gathered and learned. And sometimes I feel like whenever I read the Bible, I don't read it, but it reads me, and it helps me to find different things that I need to change about the way I think, about the way I treat people, about the way I carry about my life. So, I invite you all to continue this journey with me, and I hope you've enjoyed this video and the ones that come after that will be like it. Everyone have a great rest of your day.